Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Education Connection. And for today, we have Cassie Montgomery. She is the Director of Development at Ascension Academy. Thank you so much, Cassie, for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And before we get started, I kind of want to talk a little bit more about Ascension Academy as just like a school. So can you kind of explain what all you do out there?
Yeah, so our mission is all about providing our students with an exemplary college preparation. So we want to prepare our students for not just getting into college and not just being successful in college, but successful beyond college. So I will start by saying I recognize not everyone wants to or desires to go to college, and we recognize that as an institution. So we recognize that Ascension is not for everybody. But for those that have that goal of a four-year institution, a post-secondary degree, and even beyond a 4-year, wanting a master's degree or a PhD, that's what we equip our students for. So, we don't require necessarily for our students to go to college, but that is our mindset every single day, is equipping our students with the skills, the resources, and the tools necessary to be successful, again, not just in college, but beyond that, and contributing to our society through education, through that college level, college prep. Mm-hmm. So that's who we are, and that's what we're all about.
That's so good. And whenever I visited Ascension Academy for another interview in the past, I saw that y'all had 4 foundational pillars, and y'all have that displayed as well out in the hallway.
Yes.
So you kind of talk about those pillars.
Yes. So everything that we do fits within one of those 4 pillars, and they are scholar, artist, athlete, and leader. So we expect our students to become well-rounded in all 4 of those areas. Now, you don't necessarily have to be a bright, shining scholar, but we expect to see growth in academia. So when you come to Ascension as early as 5th grade this upcoming year, and we'll talk about that later, but as early as 5th grade all the way through your senior year, we expect to see growth in academics. So we expect you to push yourself through the challenging curriculum that we offer. We don't teach to a test. We don't offer the STAR assessment at Ascension Academy. We provide norm-referenced national exams. So for our middle school students, we use the Iowa Test of Basic Skills, or ITBS. And then starting in 8th grade, we offer the PSAT. So we offer PSAT for 8th and 9th graders, and then we offer it again for our 10th graders, and then the SAT for our juniors.
Yeah.
And then we're also offering dual credit and AP. Dual credit is offered as early as freshman year. You can graduate with an associate's degree through Amarillo College as part of their diplomas and degrees program. Mm-hmm. Not necessary, but it is an offering.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, but if I had that opportunity, I would so take it.
Can you imagine graduating high school, already halfway done with college? Mm-hmm. And I know it sounds scary, right? It sounds like, oh, you don't want your kid to grow up too fast and you don't want them to become too challenged. And I understand that. But for those that want it and desire for their college education to be more immersive, getting those basics out of the way is easier to do for some of those students when they have a high school counselor and teacher right there with them, supporting them, and they're getting dual supports while they're getting dual credit. They get the supports through the college and through the high school. They have tutoring opportunities through the college and the high school. They have access to the computer labs and the libraries at the college and at the high school. So you're giving them additional supports. You're not necessarily causing them to grow up too fast.
Right, and I'm trying to put myself in that position, in those shoes of those students that are at Ascension Academy. And honestly, I feel like that'd be so good to do all those college courses, dual credit courses in high school, because you're still living at home with your parents. You're still not 100% independent.
Yes.
You don't got to worry about, making your meal, also finding time to study. You're at home. I remember I thrived in high school because I was at home with my parents.
Right.
And they were always there to support me.
You had that support system.
Yes.
Yes.
And it was close by. I wasn't an hour and a half away.
Absolutely. Yes. You're not having to figure out how to cram in the time to study while also living a social life, while also possibly working. It's a lot to manage, especially if you're not used to freedom, right? When you don't have that wide open gate that you can run out to pasture, it can be a little complicated. So for those students, again, not every student at Ascension graduates with the diplomas and degrees. In fact, this past academic year, we didn't have a single one, but last year we had 2. So, but we do still offer the dual credit as early as freshman year. You can take World Civilization, and you're already taking that class as a freshman. You're already taking World Civ as a freshman at Ascension. So you can opt in for the college credit, or you can just continue down the path of getting the high school credit only. Either way is acceptable, but it's still going to be that challenging, rigorous, scholarly level of curriculum. So that all fits within the scholar pillar. That's just the one pillar. I haven't even touched on the other three.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So the next pillar is artist. So we offer fine art and studio art. We have an art teacher who is a professional artist here in the community. Her name is Nanette Pilcher. Okay. I think she's been at Ascension now 19 years. I could be wrong. I might be aging her, but it's close to 20. She's very close to 20 years. And she helps our students through studio art with clay, all different types of media. So acrylic, oil, watercolor. Every year we send out a holiday card to our donors and families, and it's always designed by one of our art students.
Oh, that's amazing.
We offer a senior portfolio for students, so all of their artwork is put into a portfolio, and it is exhibited throughout our school the last month of school, so that our families can observe that art and even buy it from our students.
Really? Wow,
yes.
That's so nice.
Yes. And then, of course, we have strings, which I've learned that one of our districts here in the area doesn't even offer string instrument curriculum. So orchestra is a big deal for Ascension. A lot of our students study as part of the Suzuki program at Amarillo College. We have students that have traveled to Italy to compose their own music with a world-renowned composer. And they operate under the esteemed direction of Eleonora Lopez. She is an absolute treasure. Wow. And she's been at Ascension since the doors opened in 2000. So we've been lucky to have her going on 25 years this year.
Amazing.
We have our choir and band. And then that is just the artist pillar, that our students thrive in one of those areas. And we really just ask that they pour their heart into whatever the art is for them. We offer studio theater. We offer technical theater. So our students really get to become well-rounded in an environment that is safe for them and that allows them to explore multiple areas of artistry without having to sacrifice, right? Like we don't have to choose between athletics and art or between band and orchestra. We can do both.
Yeah. No, that's so good. So scholar, artist, and then athlete.
Yes. So our athletic pillar has really boomed over the last few years. We've been a little bit more intentional about the programs that we offer and making sure that our students are supported by, esteemed coaches that know what they're doing, that are, pouring into these kids. So our cross country and our track programs have gone to the state level every year for the last, I believe, 12 years. And we have placed in almost every single one of those years. We are often the district champion or the regional champion for cross country and track. And then, of course, we offer basketball for both girls and boys. It's based on demand. So if our students want a program that we don't offer, when there's enough of those students, we make it happen. This past year, we had a female student come to us from a public school who had been doing powerlifting. We didn't offer powerlifting, but she was so immersed in that sport that she wanted to give it an opportunity. And so we created a powerlifting team just for her, and she placed 4th in state this year. And so our very first time having the program, and she put us on the map. So we're going to continue to do that.
That's so neat. Yeah. How her passion ended up at Ascension Academy, and y'all did that for her.
Absolutely. And the student isn't just a power lifter. She's a student ambassador. She is in our art classes. She is a stellar scholar. She was taking AP and dual credit classes this year. So it's not that she just, yes. Oh, absolutely. Wow. So it's not like she just came to Ascension and said, I want to power lift and go home. Like, she was very much involved in everything that our school has to offer. So the athletic pillar is really student run. It's run by student demand. We've had a couple rumblings over the last few months about an archery team. We've got some students that want to do archery.
Ooh, so I didn't even know that could be a thing.
It's a thing. It's very much a thing. So we're looking into that and trying to identify who could coach that and what the logistics of that would look like. But yeah, I mean, the sky really is the limit, minus football. We likely will not offer football, mainly because our students are so involved in other sports. If they get hurt in football, they're, that's 1/5 of our cross country team right there. Mm-hmm. So, yes. If you get somebody that's injured from football, it could really affect their other abilities to be an athlete. So, So that's the athletic pillar.
Yeah.
And then my favorite pillar is leader. So I know we're a college prep school, so scholar comes first for a reason.
Yes.
But leader in my heart should be second. We encourage our students to be leaders from wherever they are. So this past year we had 124 students, and every single one of them had an opportunity to be a leader, even though they weren't all class president, right? Or all class representative or whatever. They all had the opportunity to exhibit leadership qualities throughout the year. So participating in community service initiatives throughout the year, we offer many of those throughout the school year at school. So every single student gets to wrap gifts or to put name tags on presents that we're donating for Operation Christmas Child. Or they're stacking the canned goods that we put together for the food drive. Or they're gathering socks and mittens from their neighbors and from their church communities and bringing them to the school so we can donate them to the homeless. There's so many opportunities for every single student to exhibit leadership qualities. And it's such an expectation for our students that we will transcribe the numbers of community service hours that they serve on their high school transcript. So when they apply for scholarships or for admission to colleges, it's already documented how much of a leader they are in their community. And they can track the hours that they do at school, but also how they serve their church, how they serve the scouts, how they serve, on their own time going to the animal shelter, for example. All of those hours we will transcribe for them if they log them. So we are creating leaders in our community, not just at Ascension, but on behalf of Ascension in the Amarillo area.
Creating leaders and great students.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And y'all, as of right now, offer like 6th grade through senior year, or y'all are adding 5th grade as well?
Yes. So starting in the 2025-2026 school year, we will be offering 5th grade for the very first time. Since our inception in 2000, we've always been a 6 through 12 campus. So going into our 25th year, we are now offering 5th grade. So we'll be a 5 through 12 campus this upcoming fall.
Nice. And what kind of made y'all decide to, add the 5th graders as well in that?
Yeah, so there were a couple reasons. Number one, we've noticed that when students come to us for 6th grade, and this is not a knock on any particular district or private school or homeschool. It does not matter the student's background. They typically have a deficiency in either math or English or both. Okay. So we have seen, and it's honestly, our curriculum is pretty challenging. So because we always are forward thinking and leaning into that college prep environment, there are often some sort of deficiencies in math or reading or both. So we've learned that the 6th grade year is spent doing a lot of catch up. And so for the students that are accelerating in those areas, we're kind of having to challenge them individually while bringing the rest of their peers up to speed. And then those that are behind, we're having to spend a little additional time with them. And so what we've noticed is our ITBS, or that Iowa Test of Basic Skills that we talked about, that score is a pretty good indicator of where they would be if they had, or where they should be, rather. That's a pretty good indicator of where they should be had they started with us in 5th grade. And so we've kind of learned that if we can capture them in 5th grade and give them the study skills, the enrichment that they need to get them all up to speed, that 6th grade, which is technically middle school for us, they will all already be at that middle school level, ready to tackle that challenging curriculum. So that was the first reason. The second reason is that Ascension Academy is physically located within the Canyon ISD boundaries, right? So our address fits within Canyon ISD. Well, the families and the neighborhoods around our school are used to Canyon ISD's logistical setup. And for Canyon ISD, 5th and 6th grade is considered intermediate. And then 7th and 8th is considered middle school or junior high. So Canyon ISD should be our biggest fishing hole because that's where we're located. But families typically do not want to start their student in 6th grade at Ascension because going into 6th grade at Canyon ISD means that they're going to be at the top of the pyramid in that school, right? They're going to be the oldest between 5th and 6th graders. They're going to be the 6th graders. So then they think, well, we'll just finish out 6th grade so that we've got the 2 years at intermediate, and then we'll think about middle school. Well, at that point, they're now in 7th grade, and they've missed out on a year of ascension of building those partnerships and relationships. So we really wanted to align with how Canyon ISD operates logistically so that the families have a more fair comparison of, do we start intermediate at Canyon ISD or do we jump straight into Ascension Academy? So,
right, okay.
And then finally, I said there's two, but there's really three reasons, two and a half. So the final reason that we considered adding fifth grade is because we're building our own pipeline. So we've noticed that we will lose more students than we gain as the grades progress. So, if we start sixth grade with 30 students, for example, which I've never seen a class of 30. So they're typically much smaller than that. But let's say we start sixth grade with 30 students. By seventh grade, we'll lose one or two, maybe three or four, but we'll only gain one, maybe two.
Okay.
And so we're going to lose more than we gain each year. And so if we can start that pipeline with fifth grade and we're going to add one or two each year, then hopefully we retain more than we gain.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to grow those classes as they progress through middle school and into high school. So the idea is kind of growing our own path here while aligning with our competition. And I say that loosely because we certainly don't compete with Canyon ISD, but we are fishing from the same pond.
Yeah.
And then also getting our students up to speed before technical middle school starts in sixth grade.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, I'm excited to, hear how this new opportunity goes for the fifth graders this coming fall
Me too.
semester. And kind of still speaking about the students this summer, you are going to be hosting a few STEM summer camps.
Yes, we're really excited about that. So in years past, probably for the last maybe 15 years, we have opened our facility for Amarillo College to host their kids' college camps at Ascension Academy. And they've been phenomenal. It's been great to have kids in our hallways when it's not our own kids. It's been really good to, kind of keep those hallways lively and bouncy, because when you work in a school and there are no students, it feels really sad.
Yeah, especially during the summer.
Yes. So it really distracts us from the fact that our own students aren't there. And it's been great. So this year, Amarillo College partnered with Amtech to offer their kids' college programs at Amtech, which I think is a great idea for them. It makes it a little more centrally located for the families that they serve. But it's really sad for us because now our hallways are really empty and dark. So we decided that this would be a way for us to kind of open our doors to people who, number one, may not know anything about us. And maybe they don't want to know anything about us. That's okay. But, it gives people an opportunity to see our facility, see what we're about in a low stress, low pressure type of way.
Right.
We're not going to sell anything to anybody. We're not going to recruit your kids. But it is good for kids to see other schools, right? Like, I always love it when we take our students to other schools to compete, right? To do UIL competitions, or, for us, it's TAPS competitions or speech and debate, contests. It's good for them to see other facilities, to recognize not every school looks the same, right?
Yeah.
So that was part of it. Another part of it is just it's revenue. It's building revenue for our school. It's building a brand recognition for our school, so people can see who we are, what we're about, and what our facility looks like. And it also gives kids in our community a more advanced opportunity to flex their skills, because we've noticed a lot of our summer camps are more targeted towards the younger audience, young elementary or early middle school. And this camp is specifically for 8th through 12th graders for a reason. We wanted these older students to be able to flex those muscles in a way that encourages creativity, fosters that innovation, and really kind of challenges them and pushes them in that kind of scholarly way that Ascension does,
Right.
Where we push the limits and
during the summer.
Yes, exactly.
I feel like I wish I was a little bit more challenged during the summers when I was back in high school.
Right?
Because I literally just turned my brain off, and that was it. And then I go back to the fall, and I'm like, oh, I kind of forgot a little bit of what I learned this last spring.
Well, and summer slide is very real. It's something that's, highly studied in the academic world. We can lose up to a full grade level of reading or math just in the summer by vegging out, right?
Wow.
We try to avoid that. We offer summer projects for our students, but for those that don't, we play a lot of video games, we read a lot of books, we watch a lot of TV, we binge on all the streaming services, that kind of stuff, which there's merit in that, right? But if you have a student that has an engineering type mind or an innovative type of spirit, these camps were designed for them. These are not going to be the babysitting type of camps. Like we're not making muffins, we're not playing video games. We are designing video games and we are creating apps. So these are things that you're going to walk away with as something that you could potentially monetize, or you could play it with your friends, and it's going to be a highly functioning end product that you get to be really proud of.
That is so awesome. And
Yeah.
also, not many people get that opportunity,
No.
at that age. So that's amazing.
And you might have a kiddo at home right now that is designing their own video games or whatever, but this could be an environment where they are pushed even beyond what they're already doing. We could all say that we can code, right? If we go to like a website builder and plug and play types of things.
Yeah.
But this is going to be true creation of your own video game from scratch. So from the studs all the way up to the animation, the sky really is the limit. And it's going to be taught by a phenomenal entrepreneur and innovator who has almost 30 patents of their own in this space, in the creation world.
That is so cool. Can you tell us more about the details about this camp?
Yeah.
Like, are there several days?
Yes.
Cost, time?
Yeah, great question. It's all
Yeah.
important information. So the first camp we've called the intermediate level. So this is
Okay.
somebody who can work their way around a computer and knows how video games work, right? So
Okay.
this is your standard. My son is 13. He's going into the 8th grade, and I thought about him when we designed this camp. So he plays a lot of Fortnite, a lot of Call of Duty. He knows how to read the maps. He knows how to read the logistics and the communication pathways of the game, the different types of formats. So he can play on a PC and on a console. So if that is your kiddo, that's probably the intermediate level.
Okay.
And these camps, we offer intermediate the first week and advanced level the second week. So the first week is July 21st to the 24th.
Okay.
So the intermediate camp is going to be Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Okay.
So your kid gets to sleep in just a little bit because we know how those growing kiddos are. And they're not there all day. They're not grinding through, lectures
Yeah.
and boring,
It's not like regular 7-8 hour day.
No, absolutely not. So it's truly immersive. It's innovative. It's hands-on the entire time. So we've limited the camps to no more than 10 students because the instructor, Mark Nair, who has done several coding camps through the Discovery Center, he has taught several classes at Amarillo College. He helped facilitate courses at the Innovation Outpost. He's a brilliant innovator. So he will be teaching this class, and he will have a student from Ascension Academy help facilitate it with him. And so we want to be able to give these students hands-on, individualized instruction. We don't want to, blow the doors open and have 30, 40 kids there because we want students to walk away with a viable end product. And what they leave with will be on a flash drive of their own. They get to take it with them, and they can continue to build on it. They'll have the licenses that we're providing to them during the camp for 30 days. So they can still, play with it, enhance it, innovate it, and maybe even build other things in addition to that within that next 30 days. So that's the intermediate camp, is July 21st through the 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Ascension Academy, 9301 Ascension Parkway. And then the second week is the advanced level. So these are the kiddos that have already been coding. They have a little bit of an engineering mind. They know a little bit about code. Maybe they've attempted to build their own stuff, or they have successfully built their own things. And that advanced level camp is where they can build not just a video game, but also their own apps and help to get those apps live onto an app store.
That's so cool.
It is. And Mark Nair has done this several times with his own material and content. He has built his own apps. So he can help navigate students through, should it be on, the Google Play Store or the iOS, and here's the audience for that app, and, here's how you should market it, et cetera. It's not just building it, but it's getting it to production, getting it to the mainstream. So that will be the last week of July 28th to the 31st. Again, at Ascension Academy, also 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You do not have to do the intermediate in order to do the advanced. You don't have to do both. You can pick and choose. We cannot, however, move you from one to the other. So if you decide that you don't want to do one, you'll have to cancel your reservation or your registration, and then re-register for the other one. But they are both capped at 10 per class because we want to provide that individualization.
Which is good. And how much would it be per student for those days?
Yeah, so each camp is $200 per camper.
Okay.
And they're going to get that individualized instruction. They're going to get the USB drive with all of the notes, every lecture that has been provided. They're going to get to walk away with all the curriculum and content that they learned, as well as whatever product they have built during the camp, and the licenses. So part of that $200 fee is paying for the licenses for the softwares that we're providing.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, it sounds so fun.
It's incredible. I can't wait.
I can't wait to see the outcome of this event.
Yeah.
Or the camps. And what do you want the students to take with them when they leave after this camp?
Just
Like,
the
other than
excitement,
Okay.
I just want them to have excitement and proud ownership of what they create. So that's something that we haven't really enforced it at Ascension, but we have definitely fostered it, that sense of pride in your work. So we haven't said you better be proud of it, but our students just naturally turn in their very best work. And so we want to kind of relay that to students in our community. And obviously I didn't say this, but it should go without saying, but I will explicitly say it. This camp is open to anybody, grades 8 through 12. It doesn't matter if they're homeschooled, they live out of town, they're here visiting family for the summer or whatever. We don't care. And we're not going to market to them. We're not going to recruit them. We really just want them to walk away with something that they're really proud of, that they created this summer, and to continue to build on that excitement when they're done. Don't let that die. And perhaps, this might have a student walk away and say, I want to take more animation classes, or I want to get involved in engineering classes, or I want to do that dual credit course that my school is offering this year, now that I, have a little bit of an understanding of what that curriculum is going to look like. Yeah. Maybe it's less scary for them. So I really just want to foster that excitement.
That's so good. And is there like a deadline for the registration for this camp?
Yeah, so the intermediate camp, the deadline is the Thursday before, which would be July 17th. So we will cap it on the 17th. But then if you're like, oh, dang, I meant to get it in, I couldn't get to it, or, payday was the next day or whatever, you can call us at Ascension Academy the Monday of that camp starting and see if there are any openings, and we can manually register you if there are any. So our number at Ascension Academy is 806-342-0515. So you could call that Monday morning and be like, are there any spots available? We can't promise anything, but if there are any, we'll definitely register you. Yeah. The advanced camp, same thing. The deadline to register for that is the Thursday before. So that would be July 24th. Okay. But the same thing applies. If you want to call us that Monday that camp starts and say, couldn't get them in, but, do you still have a spot? We can definitely manually register if there's a spot available.
Okay, sounds good. And where can we go for more information about these camps, about Ascension Academy, or just where to register?
Oh, yeah. So we've got a link on our Facebook page, Ascension Academy on Facebook. And then on our website, ascensionacademy.org/support. You'll see all of the registration info there. But on our Facebook page, we have an event. And I say that in quotes because it's not really an event, but it's a thing. And so the link to register is there if you're a Facebook user. But for those that like the standard website and, maybe just want to map to our campus or our phone number or email addresses, it's all there on our website, ascensionacademy.org. And then if you put the /support at the end of that URL, you'll go straight to our camps.
Okay, gotcha. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited for y'all. I can't wait to see, how everything turns out for y'all.
Thank you. We're really excited.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Cassie, for being here today. And that is a wrap on the Education Connection. See you soon.